Thank you. First of all, thanks to all of you for being here with me today and willing to listen and hopefully to learn at the end of this speech. Um, First of all, I want to tell you a little bit about why do I think I can hopefully teach you something and about the life I'm living. I feel I'm an extremely blessed person and I'm living a very happy and fulfilled life. I'm a manager in a company that is the best place to work, according to 2023 survey and many before that validate the great place to work. I'm a mother of two wonderful girls and a wife to a great and a really supportive husband. I had a chance to study at one of the oldest universities in Europe and one of the best in Poland, which is obviously Jagiellonian University. And as it was mentioned before, I just received a PhD degree from that university. On top of that, I learned 5 languages that helped me to communicate with theoretically 45% of world's population. And speaking of that, I love traveling. And so far, I've been to 97 out of 197 UN countries, and the remaining 100 is obviously on my list. In my free time, I have plenty of different hobbies from the kind of sport related, like snowboarding and scuba diving, from watercolor and calligraphy to gardening, and I'm even a state certified florist. So I have quite a few, as you see, very diverse interests, and I'm trying in my everyday life to juggle all this and hopefully, have time for my close ones and for the job that I love so much. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how am I doing this, because as a millennial, I obviously post all my life on Instagram, and every now and then people are asking me, Dominika, what's your key to success? So I've been thinking a lot about what helps me to achieve this outcome, but I also want to help you to think about how to have a fulfilling career. So not only do many things, but also make it matter and make you happy. So I will come up and share with you 10 different advices for how to, get the most out of your life. And the first one is to have a goal and be intentional. You need to know what you want in your life. And I understand that it's extremely difficult, and especially at the very early stage of your career or education. We're asked to choose our school at the age of 19 and our future path. And, it's very hard to know what we want at that time. And I guess it's sometimes similar with the career, right? So we're going to the place that accepted us and we think it may be reasonable, and then we're trying to figure it out. So what I strongly advise is to think about it. What brings you joy? What makes you happy? What do you want from your life? And follow this path. Be intentional with all your choices. And I'll give you an example from my life. At that time, early in my career at Cisco, I was an HTOM, high touch operations manager, some kind of incident manager. And there was a training for this more advanced incident managers to be even better at your job. And back then, I was already a senior HTOM, and I thought, I'm feeling pretty confident in my role, but I would love to be a people leader one day. That's really the path that I feel that I want to follow. And there was this training for HTOMs, right? And everyone was going to sunny Lisbon, and they were going to have fun, and it was all my friends going. And I went to my manager and I said, look, this is really cool. And I bet I would be having so much fun with all of those people in Lisbon. But there is this leadership training in London. It was, at the time, it was November, November in London, and I was all alone. And I still chose this training in London because it was about leadership, something I was passionate about, and something I was going to do in my life, hopefully in the future. So I chose this other training rather than having fun with my friends. And I think, if you if you figure out what you want, and if you don't know what you want, that's fine. But I think there are plenty of people who can help you understand what could be the path, and that can be, your friend, your parents that know you the best. That can be a coach. That can be your leader, hopefully. So I'm trying to also be a coach and a sponsor to my team. Um, so think about this and try to already streamline your career and all your actions and all your energy towards this one goal. And that's especially about your professional career, but also different aspects of your life. Now, another thing that I was thinking about is that you definitely want to be doing more of what you enjoy, because that's what you're good at, and that's what, everyone can tell if somebody is doing something what they're enjoying. And at Cisco, generally, we're trying to allocate people towards their strengths. So we're having tools where we can see what people are enjoying, what they're good at, and we would like to give them more of this so that they can always be at their best. And I can give you an example here as well. So, for example, we're working with, my team is working with customers and with data. So it's a bit of a data storytelling to a customer. But there's some customers that require more analytical people because they need this attention to detail, a lot of very hard data to process. And then there are customers who need more of those people that are people's people, like more of a chatty asset manager, I would say. And I would always try to think what drains this one person and allocate the customer according to what type of personality they have, so that they enjoy it more and so that they're better and the customer enjoys it more at the same time. But I think we should also, if we have an influence over this, so try to spend more time on the things that are fulfilling for you and less on those ones that are draining, because sooner or later you'll end up burned out. Another very important thing is to prioritize. So now that you understand what are your strengths, what do you want to focus on, what do you want to be doing with your life, you need to prioritize. I mean, nobody can do everything. So you always want to try to do the things that you think are the most important. But at the same time, you want to realize, all those different aspects. So, for example, I would never have time for sport because there's my job. It's 8 hours a day, and then I have my girls that I need to put to sleep, and then out of sudden it's evening, and I'm in front of Netflix, right? But I still am intentional about what I'm doing with my life, so I would prioritize sport. Maybe I would cancel a meeting during the daytime, and I would go swimming, so that I can still somehow squeeze it in this very, very busy routine. So I think when it comes to prioritizing, sometimes you think that the things that you're focusing on are the most important, but you need to, have this deep understanding, how is this going to influence my life? So I think when we prioritize, we also need to think about how does this, what outcome does it have for our future life? And here comes the work-life imbalance. I mean, what are we talking about with work-life balance? We work for 8 hours. There's 24 hours a day. How are we supposed to balance this out? I mean, there is no balance. It's cool to be, to be happy with your job, to like it, to enjoy it. I do. I love my job. Really, honestly, I love my job. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure that if I disappear tomorrow, they will be able to find another passionate leader and replace me next day, right? And if I disappear tomorrow, and I mean, there's nobody who will replace me for my girls. And I think all of us know that, right? So there is no balance. You're the most important for your family, for your closest one, and not for your job, right? So you still need to do your job the best you can, but you will never be fully, able to give 100% of yourself if the other parts are imbalanced, right? So we don't try to match it. You need to be there for your family when they need you. And this doesn't mean that you need to completely sacrifice yourself and spend 24/7 with your children. It's not what I mean. I just mean, to understand where the important moments. And I'll give you an example from 2 weeks ago. crazy busy week. I was buried with work. I didn't have time for anything because I was in back-to-back calls, and I was feeling that I'm getting more and more drained and that I'm getting tired, and that my energy is not there anymore. And what I've done is I canceled 3 calls in that extremely busy week that felt like there's no way to fit anything else. And I replaced them with coffee calls with my friends. So one was with my colleague that we used to have a coffee every single week, and we never had time for this anymore. So ever since I came back to work after my maternity leave in September, we didn't have a single coffee chat. So in that extremely busy week, I scheduled 30 minutes or 1 hour even with that colleague. Another one was a great friend of mine who moved to Portugal, and we never spoke anymore. So I thought I'll speak with her. And another one was a colleague that was actually hiring me. It's a fellow manager. And I just missed speaking with him. And all those people also made room for that. And I came out from this so energized and so ready, for the next week and to dig through the workload. So I think it's very, very important to understand the power of family, of friendship, and how energizing this sometimes can be. And again, I don't think it's a solution for everyone. I'm more of an extrovert. So again, you need to find those things that are working for you. But I'm just mentioning how this can be extremely important in your life. Another thing, how to, because now I'm talking like find time for this and prioritize, but like how to find that time, right? And here I would really like to underline that it's extremely important to be able and to be okay with delegating and with outsourcing. And as women, as mothers, there are some men in the room too, but especially women feel extremely responsible for the household, for the children, for everything that, house should be clean. And there's all this social pressure. And when I had my first child, she went to the nursery at the age of 8 months. And all the other ladies would be like, such a little baby, how can you, And I was like, you know what? Like, I actually love my job. I'm missing my job and I really want to be back. And she's going to be fine. I mean, she loved her teachers. And ever since she loves the kindergarten and the school. So I didn't feel that she would be impacted by this, but at the same time, this was what I needed, and I could be there for her when she was back from the school. But I felt okay with this decision, although many people would, see it a different way. And I think you need to take those brave decisions. I mean, sometimes what would be helpful is to take someone to clean your house. And again, we don't feel quite comfortable with somebody going through our closet and cleaning our things. And on Instagram, you can see the reels of the ladies who would pre-clean their house before the cleaning lady comes because they're so ashamed of how the house looks like. I mean, don't do it. Just, that time, go out, have a massage, I don't know, whatever, have a walk. Or, catch up with work, whatever works, right? But I think we sometimes need to delegate. We need to outsource. And I was perfectly fine with this. And I had this peace in my mind when I was outsourcing. And I appreciate that not everyone has grandparents in the same city, right? So again, it's not about that. There's always a way to find that part of the work that can be outsourced. And obviously, we can. Hopefully, most of us can lean also on this other person that we partner with. And my husband has been extremely supportive in all of this. Another part: work smarter, not harder. So now we have all these amazing tools that would do the job for us. And I mean, as long as it's not scientific life, I do not recommend using ChatGPT for studies, but, at work, I would sometimes be taking 30 minutes to think, how would I better write this or describe this? And now we have ChatGPT. You put just a couple of bullet points and then there's the whole story, right? So it can do pretty much anything for you. So think about the solutions that will help you to save a little bit of time here and there, every time, to work smarter and not harder. And I've been applying ChatGPT, but this is just one of very many examples of how you can speed up things for you. Another one is be flexible and creative. And this is extremely important for me to combine many different things. So again, I mean, this doesn't work for everyone, but myself, I like to multitask sometimes. And what I would do, like say I'm on the bus. So on that very bus, I would probably, already take care of things. I always have this very long list. So now I have to send a gift to someone to thank for help they provided to me. So, when I'm on the bus, I would just already have that one checked and order that gift, or I would take a doctor appointment on the bus, or at least reduce amount of 10,000 pictures I took yesterday of my sleeping child or something like this, Like I'm always doing some other things to try to, reduce the workload that I would have otherwise. But the creative part, I can give you an example from the day before yesterday. I was with VIPs from our organization. We were going on a city tour, and I had in my mind that I will have to sneak out at some point because I need to feed the baby. And then spontaneously, they decided, okay, we're not going on the tour just yet. They want to pass by Sheraton to drop their stuff. And the route was closed. So we ended up passing by my house. And, when I saw that we're headed the direction towards the direction of my house, I stopped the taxi and I was like, hey, sorry, I'm out here. And then all these people looked at me like, what are you doing? And I was like, sorry, I'm going to feed right now. And then I'm back with you by the time you'll be back from Sheraton. And that's what I've done, right? So I was trying to be creative and to squeeze more into my agenda, right? So I came out, I ran to my house, I fed the baby, and by the time the taxi was going back to take us on the tour, the baby was already fed, and I had more time with the VIPs. So this is how I'm creating these little pockets of time every day by trying to see if this is the right moment when I can already tick another action from my list. And when I'm talking about being flexible, I also mean last time I was in the office and I saw this colleague of mine, and she was looking really stressed. So I approached her. I was on a coffee with my team, and I was like, hey, like, is there something I can do for you? Like, do you need some help? And she was like, you know what? Like, we have these super VIPs and we have 200 flowers in one of the rooms, and we have to make bouquets, and it's like in 1 hour. And I'm like, you know what? Like, you had no idea, but I'm a florist. And she was like, what? So I took my team, instead of having lunch with my team, we ran to that room. We created 11 beautiful bouquets for the VIPs. I helped a friend, but at the same time, we had fun with the team. And, I managed to do and to add another thing on this super busy day that I was not expecting I'm going to do anything anymore. But yet another opportunity came, right? And I'm always jumping on those little opportunities, and then it creates this network, and that friend will probably remember it. And yesterday, one of the meetings got canceled, and it was actually me who took initiative, because I was thinking like, hey, is it not the same thing we discussed just yesterday? So I wrote to this group and I was like, guys, do we really need this call? And they were like, no, let's just cancel. And I was like, yeah. And then I was passing by the office and they were taking business pictures. So I was like, can I squeeze in? And they were like, you're not on the list, but actually we're free now. Like, so let's do it. And then I was passing by and other people are doing makeup. So I ended up having makeup in the office and the business photo and everything. Just for those creative ideas, and at the same time, networking. Networking is another extremely important thing of how you can advance your career and do more. Because, I mean, we all know now that to raise a child, you need a village, right? And and you need your network. You need your network to support you with your priorities, with your work, with your life. But they also create opportunities for you. And it's not to be underestimated. But obviously, you can't only expect your network to help you with something. You need to give back. And those are these little moments when you see your friend stressed and you're asking, like, hey, is there something I can do for you right now? And the one before the last is to live the moment. And, being an extremely busy person and a mom and a leader and snowboarder and diver and whatever else, um, I'm 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 feeling quite stressed, and there's a lot of it, and there's a lot of pressure. So what really helps me is just being present in the moment and focusing like 110% of my energy on this very moment. So when I was sitting here, rather than stressing with my speech, I was just listening to the speech before, because that's what really helps, and that's what also helps you to get more out of everything. If you're just there and again, I do outsource. I have a nanny, and those little moments that I have with my children, so say 3 hours every day, I'm really there. Like, I don't need to check my phone. I can read the books. I can enjoy. I can smile because I'm not drained. I'm not tired because, again, I've been doing other things that were taking my head away. I guess if I was spending 10 hours with them a day, I would be feeling really tired, and I wouldn't be feeling that I can quite be there as much as I can be during the 3 hours. And it's the same with job, right? When I'm there, I'm really there. And then, I would create the space to go walking, go swimming, do other things, and then really be there on this other situation. And the last one is to be bold and take risks. And I mean, most of us and most of successful people have imposter syndrome, right? So, and this is okay. And I have a massive imposter syndrome. You can't really imagine. Like, I stopped my PhD for a while when I got my first child. It took me 10 years even more than 10 years to finish it. And when I was going through the recruitment for the management position, I didn't even mention that to anyone anymore because I was so worried I will never finish. But then I started writing again, and I never mentioned, at the beginning, I didn't even mention it to my husband. And then I told my family, like when I was already ready to submit. That's the first time where I felt maybe it's safe enough and then maybe I will really finish. And I never told anyone from the work. And then when I was going for doctoral exams, I didn't tell anyone. I told them I have a very important thing going on at the university and I need a break for like 2 weeks, but I never said what it was because I was feeling I may not pass the exams. I mean, I don't know what's the failure rate in doctoral exams, but if you already submitted the thesis and it's a really big thing, then you're probably going to pass the exams. But I felt I definitely won't pass the exams, but I passed. So then we have the doctoral defense, and I was still thinking like, but I won't pass the defense, so I won't tell anyone that I'm doing the PhD because I won't pass the defense. So I had a massive imposter syndrome. And yet, I strongly believe that you still need to take risks despite your imposter syndrome and be bold, and you'll figure it out later, one step at a time. That's my key solution to everything. So, you first agree and then you'll figure it out. I mean, we all will. But the thing is not to be afraid to start, not to be afraid to try. And if you don't feel that something that you're thinking about and that you're applying for is challenging, then you probably shouldn't be doing this because, you should challenge yourself. If you want to grow, you should challenge yourself. So be bold and take risks and take one step at a time. And if it will all be fine at the end of the day. So, just to summarize, those are the 10 tips that work for me in getting more out of life and doing more and living a very fulfilled life. Thank you.